What's going on, YouTube? This is Terrell Davis coming at you with another review video. I'm going to take a brief look at last week's Smackdown, but most importantly, I want to take a look at last night's Monday Night Raw. So, just getting into Smackdown a little bit, pretty much it was just, expanding the Intercontinental title picture. We already know that, Dolph Ziggler, Luke Harper, R-Truth, Dean Ambrose want a shot at the title in WrestleMania. And at WrestleMania, they're going to have a ladder match for the Intercontinental title. So those four guys are pretty much in. But Thursday night, we saw the introduction of Daniel Bryan into the picture, the title picture, and also Stardust. So those are a couple of different additions that they have, and I think that match is going to be pretty exciting, considering the amount of talent that they have in the match. So that Intercontinental title match is going to be huge. Another thing to take away from SmackDown was Bray Wyatt, and his brilliant promos. Now we know that they're aimed at the Undertaker pretty much, and he's literally doing everything he can to try to get the Undertaker's attention. Even busting out the famous urn, the same urn that Undertaker used, when Paul Bearer was living, used to carry it around, and he even brought that out to try to, raise the stakes a little bit. So, and I'll get to what happens in a little bit on Monday Night Raw. But, that's really it as far as SmackDown goes. Other than, Roman Reigns was interviewed by Byron Saxton. He was just pretty much talking about, how the how he's gonna go out and just pretty much conquer Brock Lesnar. How he's been confident. He's gonna stay humble. And he's gonna represent his family well. Which brings me to Monday Night Raw. So it starts off with Seth Rollins and company. In the ring already. Anyone comes out. It's pretty much like a verbal assault. Like he pretty much goes after Kane, Big Show, J&J Security, and lastly Seth Rollins, and he tells Seth Rollins straight up, hey, I'm just waiting for you to, be safe. That way I can make my move. I could strike. Of course, at the time, he says he's kidding, but as we find out later, well, he really wasn't kidding. And then we have the Intercontinental title picture, the continuation of that. We had a series of matches. Only the thing that I really don't like about this whole storyline is that Bad News Bear is pretty much suffering losses, loss after loss. This whole storyline of them stealing his championship, like that's pretty much coming at his expense. And I'm sure that's something that he didn't really want to do, is just lose match after match and then turn around and get his championship taken away. So it's hit or miss in the storyline, but I can understand why it's going on, because everybody wants to be the champion, obviously. But I guess it is what it is. But as we look at Paul Heyman and Brock Lesnar, Paul Heyman, once again doing an amazing job on on his promo work. He's done a very good job of putting Reigns over. At the same time, he's putting his client over, and he's letting everybody know that Reigns is not going to beat Brock Lesnar. And he went as far as to talk about Roman Reigns' family, which, you know, that makes it kind of personal. So, but the only thing I wish could have happened was, you know, Roman Reigns, Brock Lesnar could have been toe-to-toe in the ring. But I know they want to kind of save that for later, and especially when they want to save that for WrestleMania. But I think it'd be kind of cool if they would have, you know, at least had a toe-to-toe moment. But it's gonna come, I'm sure of it. And then we have John Cena. He finally got his match at WrestleMania against Rusev. He had to go through some pretty like intense convincing in order to get his match, you know, which is by way of the STF. You know, he had Rusev locked into the STF, and then Rusev was pretty much unconscious from the hold. Then John Cena, you know, splashes water on him to wake him up and puts him back in it again, and Lana finally gives in and gives Cena his match for the United States title at WrestleMania. And I kind of figured that, you know, they wasn't going to leave Cena off the card that easily. You know, I mean, there had to be some type of you know, shoe on the other foot, you know, the other shoe dropping type scenario. But I honestly think that it's going to be predictable to have, you know, to have John Cena win when it should be Rusev's time. I mean, I think it should be Rusev having his WrestleMania moment, and, you know, and John Cena's been showing some, you know, a lot of intensity that we haven't seen out of him before. But it could be the same old song. But maybe, you know, when he loses, this could be that heel turn that we've been long awaiting for. I mean, again, you know, the whole intense John Cena thing, we've seen it before, and he still stayed the same way. But maybe he's willing to put his pride aside this time and really go that route, you know, go the heel route, and, you know, to go with the brutally intense Cena and not care about anybody's, you know, well-being and just beat people down. So we'll see what happens with that. But you know, it's going to be very interesting. Having said that, you know, Bray Wyatt comes out with the urn, and, you know, he finally, you know, opens it up, and it, you know, smoke's coming out of it, and Undertaker does what Undertaker does best, and, you know, with his classic mind games, he, you know, makes lightning strike down on Bray Wyatt's rocking chair. So, you know, so it's like Undertaker's famous urn versus, you know, Bray Wyatt's famous rocking chair, and, you know, lightning strikes on the rocking chair, makes it catch fire, and Bray Wyatt's laughing and enjoying the whole thing. So he's not afraid, obviously, of the Undertaker. So I can't wait till these two lock horns. I'm just hoping that, you know, the Undertaker at least makes one appearance before WrestleMania, even if it's just the WrestleMania before Raw. Like, I'm hoping that happens. But, and then we get to the main event, which, you know, Roman Reigns is taking on Randy Orton and Seth Rollins. You know, this match did two things. It made Roman Reigns strong because he won the match, you know, and it keeps him rolling, keeps him with momentum. But at the same time, it executes Randy Orton's face turn finally, and he pretty much beats down Seth Rollins. Like, he literally beats him down. Like, we're talking, you know, not just the RKO. Like, he you know, outside the ring, you know, making Seth, you know, crash into the stairs. They're going to the crowd, and Randy Orton's beating him down with the chair. You know, and finally, you know, he does the suspended DDT off the barricade, and then RKO through the announce table, and then Randy Orton is you know, on a rampage. You know, this is Randy Orton with a vengeance, and I would imagine this is going to be the implosion of the Authority, especially when, you know, Sting and Triple H fight, and Sting finally wins it. But alright, guys, there it is. There's my review. Come back next Friday. This coming Thursday, and check out Smackdown, and you know, check out my review video. And I'll see you guys then. So peace.